Summary of the Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. The Yellow Wallpaper is a collection of diary entries written from the point of view of a woman who struggles with postpartum depression. The first thing the narrator says is about the big, fancy house she and her husband, John, have taken for the summer. As a doctor, John is very practical, and one reason he and his wife are moving to the country is that he wants to expose his wife to the clean air and quiet life there so that she can recover from what he thinks is a small tendency to go crazy. The narrator says her husband treats her like a child and won't listen to her fears about her health. She also thinks the house, which has been empty for a while, is hiding something strange and mysterious, but John tells her her worries are just silly thoughts. As part of her treatment, the narrator is only allowed to do housework and nothing else. This is so as not to stress her mind too much. A lot of what she misses most is writing and talking with other people. This story is written in a book that she hides from her husband. They move into the room at the top of the house. The narrator thinks it used to be a nursery because the windows are blocked and the yellow wallpaper is coming off. This awful yellow wallpaper becomes a big part of the story as the narrator becomes obsessed with figuring out how it's put together in a way that makes no sense. She keeps hiding the book from John and is becoming more and more sure that the wallpaper has a bad spirit that is after the whole house. She can see a shaded path, the bay, and a yard that is too full of plants from her room. When she can get away from her husband and his sister Jenny, she keeps looking at the wallpaper and starts to think she can see a strange figure behind the top pattern. She tries to persuade her husband that they should leave the house, but he says she is getting better and that giving in to her worries would feed her dangerous and unrealistic tendencies when what is needed is self-control. The narrator's tiredness and sadness keep getting worse. Her life is ruled by her love of the wallpaper. In a number of shorter and shorter entries in her diary, she talks about how she is getting closer to figuring out the pattern's secrets, even though she is becoming more and more suspicious about what Jenny and John are up to. She starts to think that the figure is a creepy woman stuck behind the bars of the top pattern. She is determined to free her and keep her husband and his sister from finding out about her. She finds Jenny looking at a scratched groove on the wall, which shocks her, and doesn't believe her story that she was looking for the source of the yellow stains on the narrator's clothes. She starts to keep secrets from even her diary, and on the night before they leave, she tries to take down the wallpaper for the first time. Later, when the only piece of furniture left in the room is the heavy, chewed-up bedside table, she locks the door and throws the key down on the front drive. She then starts ripping the wallpaper she can reach. At the end of the story, when things are at their worst, the point of view changes because the narrator has completely lost her mind. She is sure that she is the woman who was stuck behind the wallpaper. She starts to move slowly in a circle around the room, making a straight line on the wallpaper. John breaks into the room and walks right into her, making him pass out. She keeps moving slowly around the room and has to walk over his body while it's on the ground.
About the author. Gilman was born in Hartford, Connecticut, on July 3, 1860. She had a hard childhood because her father left the family when she was a baby. During this time, her aunts, such as the famous suffragist Isabella Beecher Hooker and the author Harriet Beecher Stowe, helped her mother. She married Charles Walter Stetson in 1884 and had a girl, their only child. She had postpartum depression after giving birth to her daughter, and Dr. Silas Ware Mitchell told her to focus on housework and avoid intellectual activities as a rest cure that didn't work. In 1888, she divorced her husband and went to Pasadena, California. There, she became an active member of the feminist movement and wrote a lot about women's roles in the home. In 1900, she married Houghton Gilman, who was her first cousin. Breast cancer was identified in 1932, and she committed suicide by chloroform overdose in 1935. Preferring suicide to cancer.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.